Hi, it's Todd Dunivant, Sporting Director for New York City FC. So excited for this season and to be joining the club. I'm very much a team person, a team guy, so I usually don't talk in I talk in we. I love being part of teams. It's something I've been lucky enough to do my whole life. First as a player for probably about 30 years, and now as an executive on the sporting side. Personally, I have a wife, great wife, Caroline, 3 kids, Lula, Cash, and Blake, who are 11, 9, and 6. They're so excited to be coming to New York as well. They've all been born in 3 different California cities, LA, San Francisco, and Sacramento, and so now coming out to New York, they couldn't be more excited. There's so many things that are exciting about this moment in time for the club. It is, obviously a club that has established itself as a winner. Every single year you think of NYCFC as a top club, as a club that is competing for championships. You saw that again last year. Pascal's first season, we had a really strong team, a fantastic base for him to build off of, and that's what's exciting going into this year. The job for me is to make it better. So it's a great time. Obviously we have the stadium coming online in 2027 and has been long awaited, and I think gonna continue to take this club to another level. New York City is, in and of itself, is a great city, the best city in the world. And then on top of that, you add the club, the infrastructure, the leadership, ownership of City Football Group. It is such a great job to be coming into. And you have Pascal, who's stepped in year 1 and did a fantastic job. We're gonna build on that. And we're hungry for more. We know that there's more in this group, there's more in this team, and it's something that I think we're all really excited about, building upon the success of last year, but we didn't ultimately achieve, what we wanted to. And so that's the goal, is to push it to that next level and make the team better. Well, representing New York City is a great honor. It's a great responsibility too. There's high expectations that come with that. I love that. That is something that I thrive on. It's something I've always enjoyed throughout my career, being in places where winning matters and where that's the expectation. I think I wouldn't want it any other way. You want to win championships, you want to succeed, you want to compete at the highest level, and that's something that we do here in New York. I was really lucky to be able to play, in Major League Soccer for 13 seasons. It gave me an opportunity to get to know the sport in this country in a way that, I think has really helped me throughout my career. Having that background, there's an empathy level to be able to put yourself in people's shoes, and that is something that I try to never forget. Yeah, the league has gone through different iterations, different eras, and what's exciting is that it continues to grow. I think that's the biggest thing. When I stepped in as a player in 2003, there were 10 teams at the time, probably about 22 players on each team, so you're talking 220 players in the league. There was 1 soccer-specific stadium in Columbus, and 13 years later, the number of teams doubled to 20. The number of players tripled, well over 600, and now that's gone to 30 teams and so many stadiums. So you look at that, and it is so incredibly powerful how this sport has continued to rise in this country. When you see a stadium being built in New York City, the first ever specific to soccer, that changes everything. And it's going to change everything for our club, but it's also going to change everything and raise the bar throughout the entire league. I've had so many great coaches, so many great leaders that I've been able to watch. I think to Bruce Arena, and somebody who really just didn't overcomplicate things. I think that's one of Bruce's greatest skills, is assembling a great roster, assembling a great locker room. We had a mindset that every single day was something you had to prove yourself again. You had that chip on your shoulder, and I think for any athlete, being present like that is one of the hardest things to do. And I've tried to take that into my life beyond the playing field, is that each day is a new day and you got to attack it as such. Yeah, after I retired, it was a little bit scary, because I think most players, the biggest thing they fear is what's next. You're identified with one thing, you've reached the highest level at being an athlete, and figuring out that next path is not easy. So I tried to give myself as many opportunities to see what else is out there. I did coaching while I was a player. I coached in the Galaxy Academy at the time. Really enjoyed it, but ultimately thought that my skills would be better suited on the management side and being on the front office side. I took a job with the San Francisco Deltas, leading up the soccer operation, also leading the merchandise department and the sponsorship department. So it gave so many opportunities to kind of learn about the entire business, but what ultimately drew me was the soccer side. And being part of a team, stepping from San Francisco to Sacramento, it was a huge jump because I was essentially hired to be the MLS GM, and obviously it was a winding path, but the things I learned in Sacramento about resilience, about that indomitable spirit, is going to stay with me for the rest of my life, let alone career. We're able to establish a downtown stadium. There's a lot of parallels to the journey in Sacramento to what has happened in New York City over the last 10, 11 years. And I think both clubs now achieving that ultimate goal of having a stadium in a big city is huge, and I'm so proud of what we did in Sacramento, and now picking that up here in New York to be able to be part of this club at this moment is truly incredible. I think my leadership style is you know, to certainly get the best people possible, but let them be successful. Give them the platform to do well, give them the space to achieve what they need to achieve, and do it in their way. The most important responsibility for a sporting director is the people. I think ultimately this game, this sport is about people, and so much of it happens on the field, but what you see on a Saturday night, for example, there is weeks, months, years of things off the field that lead into that. And so all of those interactions, all those moments, get you ready for the chance, you know, when it comes. And the better you can handle those situations, the people moments, the better your chances of success are going to be. Well, New York City FC has produced year after year, and you know, coming in towards the end of last year, as this was coming out, it was such a great thing to watch the team move through playoffs, and really you can see a team that's together, a team that has an identity, that has a clear path on what they want to be. Pascal's ability to shape the team, you know, was very evident, and you could see that in interviews, you could see it in the way the team played, and when those difficult moments came in the playoffs, they stood tall, and it was a really awesome thing to see, and I think gives me a lot of confidence that it's something we can build on. I think the club as well is obviously at a pivotal moment. You're starting to see, you know, a stadium take shape at Willett's Point, and that is so exciting. That is so fun. I think for everybody who's been at this for a very long time at this club and in this city, waiting for this moment, and that moment is going to be here soon. And you want to be part of that. You want to be part of that ride and see this, you know, pivotal moment in the club's history, and you know, really for the history of the sport in this country. Yeah, having a permanent home for New York City is incredible. It's everything. It's what the club, you know, was founded upon, and it's finally being able to be realized. I think that opportunity is going to be a great one for our players, for our staff. It is the pride that comes with living in this city, being part of this region, this area is just immense, and it comes with the responsibility. And I think now the club is finally showing that potential is going to be reached. Yeah, our priorities for the upcoming season are clear. We want to take it to the next level. We need to go further. We need to push the boundaries, because we have a great group of players, we have a great coaching staff, and we are ready to take that next step. The expectations are high for us, and we like that because we have the pieces, and we're going to continue to make the team better. We still have some things that we need to do on the roster front. We had some tough injuries at the end of last year, and you know, I need to make sure that we're filling those gaps while those guys are getting healthy. The style of our club, you know, is been pretty well documented. City Football Group style, you know, being attacking, being forward, front foot, you know, winning the ball back, high press. This is what we're about. It's what Pascal's teams are about, and it's something that, you know, we've had a lot of success with, and we recruit along those lines. It's a style of football that is very famous, you know, worldwide. It's something when we're recruiting that I think is very attractive to players to be part of that and be part of that winning formula. Yeah, a big part of being a sporting director is balancing short-term success with sort of the long-term vision. And you really have to do both. It's not easy all the time, but you also see moments and you see windows where you can really make a difference. And we're seeing that certainly in the next 18 months of making a real impact on this roster and giving ourselves the best possible chance to winning championships. goals are something that we need. You know, Alonso is such a big focal point for our goal scoring. We're going to have to replace that. So guys, we're going to have to step up, and we're also going to have to look to replace those goals. So that's important. Pepe obviously was so important in our midfield and did so much for us, was an engine for us in both boxes, and you know, that's another position that we need to look at and how we're going to fill it in. It was awesome to see Johnny Shore step up like he did in the playoffs. Wasn't afraid of the moment. You can see all the time he spent in our academy through the whole system, and he was ready for that moment when it came. I think one of the things I've been most impressed with since coming in is the culture of the team, the individuals, the characteristics. You can see that this is a group that's close together. They've got each other's backs. That's something we have to recruit on. We can't just find good players. We also need to look at the whole human being. One of the best parts about being in City Football Group is the resources when it comes to data, analytics, and all of the extras that they provide. Being in a wider, group ethos like this, you can really pool some resources, and it is something that I think we've utilized in a big way for many, many years, and it's something that we're continuing to look to get even better at. There's a lot of opportunities to identify players, to see what maybe the eye doesn't see through data, and it's been really cool to see how CFG is tapping into that, and it's something that is an advantage for us. Player development is something that is an advantage, again, for us being in New York. There's such a great player pool here in New York. Our academy system has produced a lot of top players, and again, you look back to the playoffs in Philadelphia and Miami, we had 3 homegrown players, on the field starting the match. I mean, that speaks volumes. Not many clubs can say that. So to have the infrastructure, to have the academy, but then also to produce and have those players play meaningful minutes is huge. It's a big part of what our club's about. For player development, we have a pretty wide lens, and we get to see some top players. We have a great coaching staff in our academy. We have a long history of producing players, but ultimately, how do we unify our system all the way through? How do we connect our youth programs with our academy with our second team with our first team? And that pathway is something that we have done and the club has done very well throughout the years, but it's something we think we can even do better at. And ultimately, our first team is the beneficiary of that. And again, when you talk about a pyramid, there's nothing like the pyramid that we have in City Football Group. For our young players, they're looking at development. Literally, the world is at their fingertips. But they have everything and every pathway available to them within our ecosystem, within the City Football Group world. It is truly unique and truly special. Yeah, working with City Football Group is another one of those incredible opportunities, because you're working with the best in the world. This is best in class in every single way. Going over to Manchester, seeing their campus, I think what was so impressive was not all of the fancy things, although that was great. It was really the people and the humility that you see at the top level of the game, at the top level of our sport. You see very humble people that are part of something bigger and are proud to be part of that. You see longevity, you see true pride, you see a loyalty that only happens if things are done the right way, and that's clearly been the case at City Football Group for a long time now. And to be part of that, to be part of this bigger thing, is truly humbling and truly special. To all the fans of New York City FC, I can't wait to meet you in person and say hello. I love the passion. It is a true driver of our club. It's important to our players. Having fans that have stuck with us for all these years through thick and thin, that's what a true club is all about. And there's going to be great moments, there's going to be tough moments, but we're all in it together, and it is truly a special place, and having that fan base, wouldn't trade it for anything. It is so special, and we're going to have a lot of fun.